What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another graded Black Series review, and I thought today we would talk about one of my favorite figures from the vintage line. I mean, it's not in my top 5, but it's certainly in my top probably 10 of the vintage figures, and that is the AT-AT Driver. I don't know what it is about that color scheme and the helmet style and all the hoses, and you know, he just kind of has a mean-looking face, but I've always loved the AT-AT Driver, and luckily, Hasbro decided to update him in the 6-inch Black Series line, and I got one of these graded back from AFA fairly recently, last week, I guess, or maybe 2 weeks ago now. I can't keep track. Life is flying by for the Action Figure Grader. I swear, my life is literally trying to sell stuff, buy stuff, do work, and then keep my wife and kids alive and happy with me. That's literally my life right now. And occasionally I'll get a nap and some, you know, and some working out in. That's literally all I do now. So, I haven't done a video. I did do an unboxing video for my Polish bootleg Boba Fett yesterday briefly, but I haven't had a lot of time to do videos lately. But I thought today we would talk about the AT-AT Driver. Since it's raining, it's yucky, and nobody wants to go look at houses, which is my job. I'm in the real estate industry. So I thought I'd take advantage of the slow time, and let's take a look at him. He's just a really cool figure. Great detail on this figure, and I just really like him a lot. So let's take a look. I mean, look at the detail on that chest piece there. It's just really, really awesome. I love that. And there's his helmet. I have seen a couple of videos that point out of this figure where the emblems on the helmet are not exactly aligned, and I think that's the case here. It looks like the one on your, if you're looking at it right now, the one on your left is a little bit lower and a little bit further away from the center of the helmet than the one on the right. But it's not that noticeable. I mean, you know, it's noticeable if you really look, but it doesn't kill the figure, but you can definitely tell that it's not exactly aligned properly. And I don't know if this was how they are on all of them, but you can see the little nodes towards the mouth area. One of them is reddish and one of them is silver or gray. I don't know if that is a factory error or what, but you know, it's all really minor stuff. I really like the figure though, so it doesn't really bother me that much. It's just nitpicking, but you know, I love the harness kind of piece that goes around his middle section and then his thighs, and you know, just a really, really nice looking figure. And he's got the standard Imperial blaster. This one has a little bit less kind of weathering and detail on it. It's you know, just basically a standard, you know, black with some very minor silver/chrome accents, but nevertheless, you know, a very standard. It's a standard kind of Black Series blaster for these Imperial soldiers, but you know, the color scheme on that light gray with the white just really pops, and I love it. Yeah, obviously it matches well for, you know, the Hoth scene in Empire Strikes Back, but he just looks menacing. I love the hose work there, but a very, very cool figure. They did not mail this one in, as I like to say. There's the artwork for the box, and as I've mentioned in a couple of videos, this one says AT-AT Driver. That is the more common of the two packaging variants for this figure. If you have this figure, you can check it out and see if you have this AT-AT Driver. The other variant, which is more rare, says AT-AT Pilot. And that was what was released when this figure was first released. That's what the box art said. The packaging said AT-AT Pilot. And I guess, you know, they viewed that as an error, so they switched that to AT-AT Driver. So this is the less rare of the two boxes, but if you have AT-AT Pilot, that is a recognized variant from AFA. And this is number 31 in the series. I bought this one from Big Bad Toy Store. As I've mentioned, Big Bad Toy Store offers pre-orders for any new Black Series figures, and you can pay $2 extra, so about $25 or $26 total for a collector grade. And what Big Bad Toy Store does is they go through the shipments, they find the ones that have very, very minimal wear around the corners and on the boxes and scratches, you know, the window, They look for scratches on the box itself and so forth. They pick out the very best ones and make those collector grade, and then they wrap them in a poly bag, and then also individually box them for protection. And so that's what I did with this one. I paid $2 extra. And so this is the AT-AT driver, Conducteur de AT-AT. The Empire's combat drivers are trained to handle everything in the Imperial ground arsenal, but AT-AT drivers see themselves as elite, controlling their massive, four-footed assault vehicles in combat against rebel targets. Well, that's really, really brave of you, AT-AT driver. You're driving one of the most menacing, highly armored ground vehicles in the entire Imperial Army, and you think you're better than everybody. Well, yeah, I guess you kind of are. If you're, the chances of you actually getting killed is a lot slimmer. But a very cool figure. Let's take a look at the AFA label. I use the classic style labeling, so it's a little tough to read. But here we are. It says 2000 and is that 18 or 16? I can't tell. It looks like 2016. Hasbro Star Wars Black Series 6-inch AT-AT driver, and it came back with a 9.0. It has to be 2016, because this sat in my office for months, or years. I must have bought this when it first came out, and then it just sat in my office. And I finally got around to getting it graded, but it came back with a 9.0. So, it's on the modern scale. For these modern Star Wars figures, I only send them in for modern grading, because it's a lot less expensive. It's a lot cheaper to get it graded. And as I've talked about, the modern scale from Action Figure Authority goes from 1 to 10. An 8.5 is considered your standard or average score. Anything above an 8.5 is above standard for a modern figure in terms of condition. So a 9.0 is a good score. It's a difficult to get score. The values of these, it's really tied to the circulation. If it's an uncirculated grade, you get it's worth much more on the open market in terms of resale. But, it's hard to get those uncirculated grades unless you're buying them, a case sealed. So this one is not uncirculated. It's a circulated 9.0, but still it's a great score, and I'm very happy to have it. And I put it next to a couple of others that I haven't had a chance to review yet. We got K2SO on your right from Rogue One, and then we got the First Order Flame Trooper on your left from The Force Awakens, from one of the very first scenes in the movie where the Flame Trooper was setting fire to the village. So, anyway, I love this AT-AT driver. I've got a really cool vintage AT-AT driver that I'm going to get graded that is not standard. It's a very unique figure. I don't want to spoil it, so we're going to have to wait for a few months until I get it back, but it's a very unique variant vintage Kenner figure in the 3 3/4 inch line. So hopefully we'll have that to share next spring or whenever the heck CAS gets my my shipment back to me. But anyway, just wanted to share this one with you. It's a really cool figure. I'm very happy to have it. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a great weekend. I don't have much to do today. It's awfully quiet here in the Action Figure Graders household. The kids are at school. My wife is at work. God bless them. I've got the house to myself. So I'm hoping to get 1 or 2 more videos up today for you. Thanks very much again for watching. Talk to you soon.